Let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. Let's let that all members are present.
Oh,
You got
Smile.
Go get your broom, man.
Look at your broom again.
So where is that? See, Tim?
All right, item number one, request of approval of the overage on finished project 93-136 Ward 2.
Yes, sir. That was a project that we had originally approved for just $300 to do a evaluation of the property with the drainage issue at,
A little bit more. Go back a little bit.
You good?
Good, that's good.
Okay, you good.
You good?
on Highway 308. And that after we did our exploratory work, we found out that there was a collapsed culvert. And also this collapsed culvert caused some issues to the landowner's driveway. You can see in the pictures that we have. When we came into the estimate that we have to replace 40 foot of 24-inch culverts. It's gonna require some fill material, 19 yards of concrete and the labor. And Mr. Blankenship gave you all a cost estimate of $7,830 on this job. Just the nature of the beast that it was a big outfall and that the driveway was in proximity to it. And also there was some issues with, looked like the fill material that was put down for the job itself was not adequate. And it also might have cost some of this also, but that's the total cost to fix the problems.
All right. I'm good with it, gentlemen. The project got to be finished.
Motion.
And let's just make sure that it's done correctly this time. Make sure the elevation is shot, and make sure everything is done. That way we don't have to return to it.
Yes, sir.
Motion on the floor.
I think we got a total cost of $7,830. Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number two, discuss outstanding drainage projects.
Okay. Put y'all a sheet in front of y'all gentlemen to show the project that we've completed so far. And our next project that we scheduled to do is Verda Street, which will start, we can't start it tomorrow, it's too wet. Probably Monday of next week, we're going to Verda for that project. And then we're gonna move on to Highway 43 and take care of those culverts on the that was some of that Go Mesa funding that Mr. Chris had for that project on 43. They'll be our next project. Then we also have to finish a project on Cindy Street that we went in, we added 2 catch basins to it. So that's the next 3 projects we have in line. Our catch basin employee is doing a very good job. I think we only have like maybe 3 left that needs to be completed. So he's built almost, I think, 12 catch basins in the last month. So that's working out pretty good.
Oh, you're doing a very good job. Looks good.
Well, thank you. He is doing a very good job.
Put the one on Pecan. The one on Pecan we discussed.
Yes, sir. We didn't put that. That'll be on our agenda. And that's what I was telling that to, Mr. Nakane asked me today if we can start maybe putting projects back on the list next meeting. And I think we can do that. We catching up to where we can start handling some, we've got our other excavator back there. We had the mulch on, so the general foreman says he can start doing some projects with 2 crews. So we can start maybe putting some more projects back on the next month.
The one on
next week.
Birch too.
Yes,
That's
sir.
not, that's not bad.
No, sir.
But the guy keeps going, man. He has children in the yard.
Yeah.
And he's afraid he's gonna fall in.
Okay. So we've actually caught up pretty good with the projects we had on the list. A lot of these other projects that you see on here, a lot of this is engineering. A lot of things are not involving drainage department.
So I had a project on 114 Phillips Street.
Yes, sir.
The parish has been there twice so far. And then today after this rainfall, we still have the same problems that we had before the first project took place. So that's another one that we have to attend to right away, Paul.
Yes, sir.
And anything on Davis North Bay Road?
You talking about with the crossing on
Yes, sir.
no, the state still hadn't received the excavator yet. I know that's an issue that, you said you'd maybe put some calls into Baton Rouge, but the state has been behind on all their projects. They have yet to receive an excavator in the point where to do any type of work for us.
Right. So this is an area where we continue to get some backwater flooding. So is it possible to do this project without excavator? before the
It's very-
water comes up.
It's very possible. I don't know, I hate to start taking work from the state when we can't handle our
I
own
hate for
work.
my people to flood.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't wanna commit to it because of the fact that,
Do we have the culvert or they have the culvert?
we have the culverts on site. We purchased the culverts, we have the culverts in our yard.
So I guess I'm gonna bring this up to the rest of the chair offs. Would it be okay if Paul went and, installed this culvert while the water's still kind of low?
So the state highway,
Right
So
away.
I'd have to get with the state to see if they're okay with that for sure. I don't, I mean, I don't see
you
why
have
they
to do the
tell me
same
no.
thing, a resident has to do. You gotta get a permit from the state, don't you? For a state project, any state right away, any state ditch.
I'm not sure. I never crossed the state right away before to do a cross culvert. I'd have to check and see.
So where's the culvert? It's across,
It's right by the Rainbow Inn. It's on 1015-2 or 1, going towards Davis North Bay Road. It drains Terrio, all that little subdivision, Terrio, Randy, Curtis, North Curtis. It's an outfall that we want to put a gate valve on the bay, but the culvert under the roadway is rotten. We need it, before we put the gate valve, we were gonna let the state change out the culvert under the roadway and increase the size to 24
The
inches.
excavator for the state has been broken for the past 4+ months.
Yeah, because I've been waiting on the state to do Highway 1003, and they haven't been down there because they
They
haven't
get
had
a
that
permit for
excavator.
them, for us to do it?
That's what I'm
You
asking.
get a right of way?
So we start
I'm
doing
sure
that
they wouldn't
job.
mind if we did it.
I would be in favor of assisting the state doing it by just supplying the excavator to do the work, but not be responsible for cutting of the road and backfill and.
The roads are
already
already
cut.
cut. The roads are already cut.
But that should be, the state still has the responsibility for the roadway and how it's gonna be repaired, not the parish. If we just supply the manpower and the equipment to get it done, it still needs to be under the direction of the state. I don't think we take responsibility for the entire project.
That'd be a conversation I'd have to have with the state. You're right, as far as for, we can probably maybe supply the operator and the machine, they can provide their workforce, and then they would provide the field material and all the other materials to get the job done.
Sound like a winner.
Yeah.
With that being said, I kind of agree with Leroy. There need to be some type of documentation. I don't know, what's the right language for it, Mr. Calabro, to where we're not liable if anything else breaks or cracks in that section again.
No, we just.
I think it's their project and we just assist them with
Yeah,
the
I guess
manpower
that's
and
what
the
that-
equipment. And it could be the same thing for 1003. If that's
Paul,
what
you wanna
needed
reach
there.
out to the
I
state?
can reach out. I'll have an answer for y'all at the next meeting. I'll reach out to the state and see if it's possible, and if it is possible, what type of agreements you need to sign for it to make it happen.
And ask about 1003, see what the holdup is on that.
It's the same thing, no machine. They don't have an
Let's
excavator.
let's request something to Chad.
I did.
Let's do it as a jury, just send a resolution to, we need
I'm
help.
pretty sure they can rent machines somewhere else to state. They do it in other parishes.
I know
They
they
rent from other
Yeah, they do.
parishes, other districts.
I mean, I don't think that's an excuse.
Well, because they came down from Baton Rouge to do 403 a couple of years ago,
Yeah, they,
and the Williamville couldn't do it.
that's a poor excuse.
But that's the same issue they tell us about right here at the baby shop right here. This hole right here that they don't have a machine to do it. They're waiting for a crew out of Baton Rouge to do it.
Let's send a letter to Chad and see if we can get some help.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll get with the state and see what they need from that.
Anything else on drainage projects?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr.
Let's just follow, so we can just make it official. that Chris made a motion to send a letter.
Resolution.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard to send a, letter to Mr. Brown, Representative Brown.
And
For-
Paul's gonna also follow up.
Yes.
I'll talk to the state tomorrow.
I
All
think
in
the letter
favor?
needs to also go to
It need
the
to go-
Secretary of DOTD. So that,
And the engineer. The district
right, well,
engineer.
it'll get back to the district engineer by going to the DOTD. And copy Representative Brown.
All in favor?
And price. Put price on
Any
it.
opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Any opposed? Adjourn.
We'll call to order the 5:05 Finance Committee meeting. Let the record reflect all members are present. Item 1, request approval to pay list of bills submitted through April 5th, 2024. They're included in your package.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of first quarter review for the Chamber of Commerce. We have some members of the chamber here.
Good evening, I'm Bridget, and I have with me Tanya and Cassie, members of the board. This month, our business spotlight, Sage Construction for our banquet. It was held on April 22nd. February 22nd. We did have a really good turnout, and we would like to thank you all again for the discounted rental of the community center. It was very much appreciated by us. We awarded 2 Teenagers of the Year with a $500 scholarship each. All candidates received a check of $50 except for the 2 that was chosen. They both received a $500 check. The scholarship winners were Jake Landry and Bailey Urso. The Business of the Year was Threads on the Bayou. After expenses, we did end up with a negative $750. But once we interviewed the children, we felt very strongly about our decision to choose 2 of them as an overall board. We don't typically pay for speakers, and the speaker we had this year, he did request to be paid. So it was an additional expense that we don't typically have. So that between those 2, that's what made us go in the hole a little bit. All in all, the banquet was a huge success. We've had lots of great feedback from the banquet. Right now, our focus is just working on and improving the new website we have up and collecting some outstanding membership dues that we have for the 2024 calendar year. As always, if there's any way we can assist the jury in any events that's going on in the community, we would ask that y'all please let us know about them, because we'd like to be involved. That's all we have to recap on. Do y'all have any questions for us?
No, any activity, any people inquiring about coming to the parish? Y'all have any?
I apologize. I have a headache. I had eye surgery yesterday, but we have been getting calls from people that want to come here as tourists, looking for bed and breakfast and that type of place.
Okay.
And we still are getting like some people coming in to be new members, so still going good.
All right, good deal.
Motion to approve the report
Motion to approve the report by Mr. Alcorn,
Along with the quarterly allocation.
along with the quarterly allocation.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Request approval to renew the contract with LOCA for claims administration with a 3% increase.
This is a contract we have annually, and again, they are the claims administrator. They investigate and handle all general liability claims for us and on our behalf.
So what's the total of that 3% again?
It's not a total, it's per claim. So it's contingent upon how many claims and what kind of claims. If you look on page 6, you'll see the fees. There's a base administration fee of $4,274.50, and then per claims based on how much we have in claims.
So move.
Motion to approve by Mr. Carter,
second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to allocate $1,500 per juror to attend Washington DC trip to meet with congressional delegations September 22nd through 25th of 2024.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I put this on the agenda, as we've done within the past year, 2 years, to go and also help ourselves lobby, for funding to, as pertains to our, flood master plan to go ahead and lobby for those funds so we can try to mitigate, mitigate our issues. So just putting it out there. I did get the dates and, that is the dates, September 25th September 22nd through 25th. So I got a motion on that.
Motion to approve by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Meeting started, let the record select all members are present. Item number one, discuss health insurance benefits relative to police jurors.
We make a motion to table that, Mr. Chairman.
We'll table this item.
Sure.
Motion by Mr. Hondo,
Second.
second by Leroy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You are.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakane, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.
5:30, we'll go ahead and get started with the road and bridge committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present. Only one item, an update on the road overlay. Steve, Mr. Joseph just walked in.
Yes, gentlemen, well, as you can imagine, no work was obviously done today with the weather, but they are still progressing. Currently, we are in Ward 6, and we will be moving towards 7, 8, 9. I will be, myself or some member of my staff will be reaching out to you, the jurors of Ward 7, 8, 9, prior to us commencing work in those. Right now, we are going over those streets before we get to them to see if there's any areas that require additional patching that wasn't indicated on the plans, because time has progressed and, you know, road patches and all grow, so we want to make sure that that's covered. Right now, my office is doing a budget analysis. We're right at we've spent right at 1.2 million that wise, and the original budget, if I recall, was right at 2.7 total. So we're still tracking online. We are within budget. We've had a couple of streets go over and under with some things we found on site, of course, when we get in there and start breaking them up and so forth. I do have an inspector that's going with him. You all met him, Ms. Brian. We have had our issues with the contractor. One of the biggest ones I know you all are aware of is that he was caught taking water from the waterworks. We are working with the waterworks currently to identify how much water was taken so that that can be rectified and billed back to the contract if necessary. Or easiest thing is he goes in, takes care of his bill and moves forward. He does have a meter. We are monitoring now that he uses that meter when and where he's supposed to. And we're going to continue to monitor that and work with the waterworks. Any questions?
I do want to say thank you to Brian, and Leroy really just spoke about it too, and I think the jurors appreciate it too as well. The daily report he's been sending us on Monday, I'd like to keep that going.
Yes.
Wherever you are, wherever street you're in, let them know they can see it, even if they want to make a pass or whatever, but we appreciate that.
So I do have a question on, one of the Ward 7 roads is Halfway Road.
Mhm.
And it's grading and adding material.
Correct.
Is M-Track gonna handle that scope, or are we going to another contractor to handle that scope?
As it stands right now, we budgeted in the program according to M-Track's prices, okay? But, and I don't know if you recall this conversation, but you and I had a conversation earlier before the project started that we were gonna determine either that project may be able to be handled in-house if we had the equipment and personnel to do it, or it is not an asphalt paving program. So we could, in fact, at the jury's will, if you all want to go get another contractor to do that grading, because that type of work, while it is in their scope, it is not part of an asphalt paving contract. So you have the option to do whichever.
So, but I guess what I'm asking, in their bid, did they include quantities for non-asphalt work or only the asphalt work?
No, they have quantities for, they were given a bid quantity, an overall, just a unit price quantity for each item. So we have a unit price from them to complete the work. However, they only complete work as it is assigned by our office, approved by the jury. So we've only provided them with X amount of streets that you all approved. Halfway Road is one that you and I had discussed. So the plans are done. We have a quantity takeoff, and at that point, we can either choose to give that as an item to M-Track to complete, or we can go get 3 other quotes. I believe it's small enough, you probably wouldn't even necessarily have to do that. It's small enough, you may be able to direct contract it, but it's always in the best interest if we can to get 3 quotes.
All right.
In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is you're not tied to M-Track to do that grading work. Yes, I have unit prices from them that we can activate to do, but he's not promised that work, and it's not allocated to him at this time.
It's
How much
just
you have to
grading of a
do-
gravel road? What is it?
The farm to market road, that's a farm to market road?
No, it's a parish road.
It's a parish road.
It's a
What we're
parish road.
doing there
What kind of
is,
work needs to be done on it?
The road lost its crown. There is no crown on the road. The road holds water
yeah,
in several sections. It needs to be reshaped and basically it needs to be recrowned and more material put on top of it.
correct. Basically what he just said, over the years, the gravel and so forth has pushed and washed to the side, compacted and so forth. We need to get a grading machine out there, bring that material that is pushed and washed to the side back to the center, regrade it, and we will have to add material to give that road a new crown profile. But it is grading and earthwork of a road. Yes, it can fall within the scope of M-Track. Yes, we have the unit prices to do that under this contract, but you also have a road and bridge department that has the freedom to do that in-house or contract out independently to do that work. It is not an asphalt road per se.
So when you're gonna mobilize into 7, when will that be determined on if you're gonna seek for M-Track to do it or you wanna contract it out?
Good budget.
We won't-
Is there, I'm about to pull it up right now.
Why was it ever put into the road program?
Because it is a road.
It's a
The
road. It's
road
a
program
parish
is not
road.
limited to asphalt.
Correct. It was placed into the road program so that we could allocate funds in the budget of the road program to complete it, of which it qualifies.
The scope is too large to handle in-house. I spoke to Paul about it and what needs to be done is just.
How long that
it's too
road is?
large. 2 miles?
2.5 miles.
Yeah, it's a long. Now, we're not,
Not doing the whole roadway, but-
and
No,
we're not trying to, there's specific sections of that 2.5 miles that we're addressing. We're not trying to recrown the entire 2.5 mile. There's a specific section that's identified in the plans that we did where when you look at it, you can see it's definitively lost its crown. That material is washed to the sides, so forth and so on.
Well, for years and years I've been doing.
Well, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you did it right. I mean, that's.
And no, it's fully eligible under the road program and the amount of money it would take, even whether it's done in-house or by an independent contractor or even M-Track at this point, it's something of that nature would have to be put under.
Estimated cost on?
$39,200. So at this time, if you would like to see that road go out and let him get 3 quotes, do it as you may, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
And I'm fine, and we're.
So that's what he
to
got
give us the
budgeted,
best.
right here. It's in there.
You got the materials on it? Cubic yards?
No, he don't have that.
It's not in that, but I can get you that. It's in the, if you look at the, there's a cost booklet that I provided to you all. It has those quantities in it. I can get that to you. And if it's at the behest of this jury, if you all want to, I have no problem. We can go get the 3 quotes from 3 independent contractors, present that back to you, and then you all can make a decision on how you want to move forward. You still also have the option, so if you should so choose, you can, let's say you go get 3 quotes and then we use M-Track's unit prices and it should fall, if it falls out to be to your advantage, you still have the option to award it to him as well. It basically, you can do what you need to do.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just go ahead and move forward and get those prices and then we'll,
You want to get the 3 quotes, right?
yes.
Entertain a motion on the floor
All right,
to,
I'll make a motion that we obtain 3 quotes,
for halftime.
in addition to an M-Track estimated price
Correct.
to complete halfway road project under the road and bridge program.
And as I said, those plans are done. We have the quantity, so it should be in short order.
I got a motion by the chair. Could I entertain a second?
Okay.
Got a second by, Mr. Palmville. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried.
Sir, one other thing on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are. Yes, sir. I've got a couple of streets that were submitted to me, including that one that we're running estimates on right now so that I can get the information back to you all, and then you all at that point can bring it to the jury to make a decision on how you would want to move forward.
Something I would like to request, from your office is basically an updated, budget to show us what roads are over, what roads are under, seeing where we are.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to get to the end of the project and then we have to find some more money. If there's a road that went over, I think the jury needs to address that as we go, rather than wait until the end.
100% agree. My office is already putting that spreadsheet and breakdown together. Because we do it periodically throughout the job. And so obviously we did it probably at around right at around the quarter of $250,000 mark and $500,000 mark. We've kind of hit the $1 million mark, so we're doing it again. We haven't had anything major or significant regarding overruns. Obviously, had that been the case, we would have halted and said, hey, don't do anything. We're coming back to you all. As long as those overruns, I should say, are within a certain, we give you all in the cost estimates that we provide, we give you a contingency fund. And that is because, look, we don't have a crystal ball. We can, I can give you a good, fair, solid estimate. And that's not to say when the contractor's out there and he's digging a patch on the road, that while he's sitting there, that patch grows or and that failure gets bigger. It's not advantageous nor cost effective to you or the contractor for us to stop work at that point, come back to the jury. It's a small enough amount within that contingency fund to take care of those things.
Joseph, based off the report your office, sent, and I vetted it to the jurors, tag it along with the same, sort of like on the same spreadsheet. Cause it shows what we have, it shows what proposed was removed, and now you can also show what has been completed and where we are, just like the chair
Right,
said.
and that's exactly how it's laid out. It's laid out as a spreadsheet. You're gonna be able to see each road. It will have a tab on whether or not that road is finished or whether it's still in construction. But it'll give you a number of where it is currently and where it was budgeted and a percentage plus or minus or dollar difference of how much we ran over, how much we ran under.
All right, thank you, Joseph. Motion to
I
adjourn.
just have one more thing. I don't want to keep harping on this, but this contractor is also the contractor for Lee Drive. And that grant closes out June 30th, which I know you're all aware of. We have 15 days from June 30th to submit all invoices. So that means work has to be done, completed, and we need to be billed to be eligible for funding for that program. Time is coming quickly
For Lee.
for Lee Drive. This is the same contractor. I know this seems to be your priority, but we need to worry about that because we already mid-April.
Well,
So
once
what
he
is,
mobilizes and leaves 6, he's going to the back anyway. He's going back there. He's gonna
Supposed
be
to be
with
there
7, 8, and 9
3
anyway.
weeks ago.
So, I mean, it should be within the next, hopefully 1 or 2 weeks. I mean, the weather,
what portions of Lee Drive do we expect additional charges from the contractor? I thought the rest of the work that was needed was punch list items
The
that,
remaining 4 driveways I think he's got left to do. And those were driveways that were added, those were added after we did a walkthrough with you all, the jury. Forgive me, I don't recall the date and the night, but we went there that evening. What?
That is incorrect.
That's incorrect? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's incorrect?
That the driveways were added after the fact.
That is not incorrect. The driveways were included in the original bid. The addition of the additional asphalt to extend them even further was added after the fact.
You stated,
You misunderstood that, I apologize.
you stated yourself that we was gonna tie into the existing asphalt.
And we did that.
Well, maybe we should take a ride tomorrow, you and I.
I'd be glad to take a ride. However, Mr. Ponville, I have ridden out that road several times with you. That road has been substantially completed. You've also interfered with the contractor with that road. He has refused now to do any further work on that road. So I'm afraid if we continue in this thing, it will turn into a legal matter. I don't want to go there. If you wish to go take a ride out there, please have this jury make a motion and have somebody come and go and ride that with me with your legal available because the contractor's going there if you continue this path.
And I'm fine with that. I'll buy everyone lunch tomorrow,
Well, that's up to you.
you just.
including
you just-
yourself, Mrs. Suppleman.
I'm not available tomorrow for you.
You stated something that I don't quite understand. You said the contractor said he's not doing any more work out there?
I have now had through, I'll go back and look at the reports, but there have been more than one occasion that he has actually pulled off the site because Mr. Ponville has shown up on the sites. And so he has told me that that road is substantially complete. The additional asphalt that was requested to be placed on those driveways, he's not under contractual obligation to do it. The road is substantially complete. If they want to argue that, then so be it. But he has a substantial completion. He can obtain a clear lien certificate and we can submit the final invoice for the quantities that were put down.
When will the dips in the culverts be addressed?
He addressed those dips and culverts. I brought them back to his attention as I've spoken to you. From a standpoint, it is more of an aesthetic issue. The drive lanes and everything are within tolerance. They do meet specification. I agree. They're not the most beautiful things in the world. However, at this point, he is refusing to do any additional work because of the conditions that he's stating.
So you and I discussed it and you agreed that there was an issue with the way that they were patched. Is that not correct?
That is correct. I agreed with you that it did not look correct.
Well, it still doesn't meet specification where the lines are. He didn't patch the middle of the road or the sides of the road.
And that's something we will and have addressed with him. But at this point, if he's refusing to go, we have given him substantial completion. That is something, if you all wish to withhold a specific dollar amount for those things, I will do. But at this point, as Ms. Torres pointed out, we're getting to the end of the line on this contract. And a lot of those issues would have been resolved, but now he is not willing to cooperate in that manner. So we can look at those center lines. I don't think it's anything detrimental to closing the project out. I agree with you. It is not aesthetically pleasing. I cannot tell you that those sections, the two little areas where the lines are crossing are not within specification because the travel lanes are. We did check them. He did use the proper methods and tests. He did use an infrared machine. While I agree with you, doesn't look, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. From this standpoint, we can go back and I'll document everything. I'll turn it over to you and you all let me know how you want to proceed in that method, with that plan, and we'll assist you to do that. But what I'm being told by the contractor is he is not doing any further work on Lee Drive. And
When did he relay this information to you?
he's been stating it.
So why
Quite
you don't
often.
say anything?
He's been stating it quite often, Mr. Ponville, and I think you're well aware of that.
Why are you just bringing it to our attention?
I'm not
now?
just bringing it now to your attention. It's been a known fact that you have had issues going back between you and the contractor. What I'm trying to do is avoid that and do what's best in the interest of this client.
No, I think you're wrong, man.
Well, that's your
Did
opinion.
anyone else ever hear this before?
I was under the impression that it was gonna be addressed when it went to Ward
That's when he went for the
789.
road program.
That's what Mr.
That's
Sawat
what
said,
I
but
was-
apparently, he forgot one of his lines.
All right.
Mr. Ponville, you have your opinions. That's fine. Do
Motion
not
to-
continue to call me a liar in a public meeting or
State
you will
facts.
be addressed.
Motion to adjourn. Can we
There's
revisit
one
it at the
thing,
next
put
meeting?
Woodlawn, when you go to Woodlawn, get with me before we do any work on it. Just
Yes,
make
sir.
sure we're on the same page.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Mr. Leroy, Mr. Bro, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes
Mr.
have
Bro's
it.
not on that committee.
Well, I'll make a motion. Second.
Mark,
Done.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried.
All right, we call Engineering Grants Committee meeting to order, record reflecting all members are present. First item, update on project status and funding sources by GIS Engineering, Mr. Lusky.
Good afternoon, everyone. So lately, we've been tracking the capital outlay bill, as it goes to the floor. Just following that, seeing what projects are being added, moved, talking with our legislators, continue to have great dialogue. Looking into grant opportunities with NOAA, FEMA, so 6 months to a year out, there's quite a few that are underway. The next few is a lot of US DOT traffic or transportation projects within deadlines of August. So there are some grants out there. We can talk, if anybody has roads, I'll work with Trey on this. And then looking into or discussing with NRCS and Lower Delta I talked to Mr. Jerry Davenport, and he is in charge of the PIFRA, PL 556. And that's the environmental assessment, watershed planning studies. And, last time, 2 weeks ago, we reported that we were getting those together or assisting where we can to show, basically Baker Canal all the way to Bayou River. So that, those maps have been put together by Jerry, with NRCS. And, so he will be submitting those. I had a few comments with him. I wanted another map to show all the way down to Bayou Lewis and wrap around down 70 to 90 to encompass more of, I guess it's gonna be St. Mary's side, Morgan City side, Assumption side of Bayou Buff, just so it's in a map that they know it's an issue that needs to be addressed. And then also, we had a meeting, I guess later on, but there's a Constant Canal update. But we did have a meeting with Ms. Rayetta. I don't know if you can give an update or not, but with OCD and their cost consultant to finally, we had a great meeting. So that project, hopefully it fast forwards now that we can get under contracting or moving. So once we receive that, we'll be able to get going. So that's my update for now.
Did the, PIFA request make it with the,
3 of them.
the 3 of them that
Yes.
he was looking at?
Is it?
That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jacob.
Next item, update from the planners, the design group.
So surveying is complete of all the levies. Angelette, our surveyor, they've got another week or 2 of putting together their plans. Just their deliverables more than anything. In the meantime, what we do have from them, we started our own drafting of y'all's levies. And working with Brian just to record whatever pump information we can get. He's a little busy.
Yeah, recently there've been some events.
And then other than that, you know, the permit scope that we put together.
Right, so.
I will send those letters out tomorrow,
Okay.
as based on your email that you sent.
Have y'all looked at the scoping and the fees we put together for that?
Scoping of what?
The scoping and the fees we put together for that, the jail street
Do
extension.
you have fees? I haven't seen any fee schedule.
It's for the, becoming the agent of record for the Gerald Street levy extension permit. We sent the, I think, 11 o'clock last Friday. You can resend it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't recall getting it.
okay. I'll resend it and give you a call.
We made those go to spam.
With that, hopefully not.
No, we'll review it, and we're working to locate the H&H modeling data.
Mhm.
And if for some
Yeah.
reason we can't, I spoke to Jacob and we'll get another copy from him.
Is it?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, next item, update from the grants coordinator, Ms. Croce.
Good evening. Update from, there's no new update from, Infinity Engineering. Plottville Drainage, still waiting on a response, from Mr. James Lee. Abstract contract for Shell Beach was signed and emailed, and the original was also placed in the mail. Keep Louisiana Beautiful grant, the trash receptacles were received and will be installed before April 30th. And Constant Canal, we did have a call yesterday with OCD, Pan American Engineers and GIS. So that's moving forward with the cost analysis. And I have the requesting approval to authorize for RFPs for a grant manager for Constant Canal. That is strongly suggested by OCD that we procure a grant manager for Constant Canal. However, the budget was moved to all for the project cost back in October. For the the money that was allowed for that, it was moved.
Move
to
from
the
where to
project
where?
cost.
It's also construction.
Oh, to the
How much was it,
construction
Brianna?
cost.
Okay, as previously advised to y'all, this office has never administered any CDBG funds before. That has always been administered by an outside source, namely mostly South Central Planning. So I think Justin and Rayetta were on a conference call regarding this, and they strongly advised that we do seek a grant manager because there's a whole set of rules that we
have to
just
follow.
don't know. Nobody in this office knows.
Well, why would I know that?
Funding, who's gonna pay for it? Where's the money
How
gonna
much
come
is it?
from? You don't know that. We gotta go out for RFP. But we can't go out for RFP unless we have funds committed. In order to commit funds from the grant, then construction has to be downsized. Because all the funds, the administrative funds, were moved to the construction side because the construction cost was so high.
How much we had in administrative costs?
It was like 67,000 if, I remember correctly. Wait,
I mean, would a grant manager come back at that amount? We have no idea.
I'm sorry, it was, 605,623 was the delivery activity cost. Yeah. And project cost was 3,099,960.
The volume, the requirements associated with this, you all have no idea. And we don't have the knowledge in-house to do it. We just don't.
So let me ask you, maybe Jacob, you can give us an idea on this. So on Constant Canal, I know this was under the design rescoping project. That design rescoping hasn't even been done yet. So how can we say that we're under budget or over budget with respect to construction?
And we made that comment. So right now, our fee proposal will be revised. And they gave us a recommendation to include it. And then my recommendation was, we have to get through rescoping to know what section of this canal needs to be through the H&H part of it. So when you go through rescoping, and I explained to him, the original application was from our time to like the tree line. Well, it needs to go all the way to Lake Forest. So that differential and the cost estimate reflects the full length that was proposed. And it's to my knowledge that any and all costs associated with delivering this project is within that number. So if a grants manager, because it was included 15% on the DSP, increased, and that 15% addition was for administrative rescoping for the parish, for consultant, for the engineer, but it's administrative fees that were incorporated into that DSP amount in that particular phase, in that round 1.5. So every project that was selected for round 1.5 was 15% was added to every single project. So I guess long story short is, it's my understanding that any and all costs associated with Constant comes from that allocated what was the total? 3.7 million. That's construction, engineering, that is administrative fees for the parish, which can be applied to this grant.
And keep in mind, moving forward, this is not the only one. The watershed initiative is gonna be a similar type project.
But this is a watershed.
No, then-
Why you say Vincent?
What's the other one
Why you
that's,
say Vincent?
They're both watershed initiatives.
okay, well, but it's not the only one, this Conscience is not the only one. There's
Right.
another.
So we should move on that.
Well,
Saying that all the money should be in the total price.
Right, I don't know that we expressly allocated the administrative funds to go all to construction. When would we have done that?
October, it was, I have the minutes right here.
Read it.
The grants coordinator stated that in the CEA for the CDBG Constant Canal project, the amount under the delivery activity cost is $605,627, and the amount under direct project cost is $3,099,960. giving a total of $3,705,587. She stated that the reason for the move is the cost under the activity delivery cost or administration cost, and all of the funds will be needed for the direct project cost as per the cost estimate. And this was,
So the cost estimate must have been more than 3.9. Based on,
Add 15% to the 3.7.
So,
Can't we just contact South Central?
that's what I was saying, South Central Plan.
federal government, you can't just contact somebody.
I
I have
think,
to put it
I
out
think
for
if we go off
RFP.
Gotta go
RFPs
out for
and,
RFPs.
it is supply.
and once we follow those guidelines, then we can use, you can go Mesa funds.
I think the takeaway is if we go through this process and we get the administration, and if the cost estimate comes back over, the project may have to be,
Down south.
that's what we're saying.
Well,
And, well, I mean, if you understand that, that's the route to go.
We gotta do what we do.
But there also is the option with Watershed Initiative that if the project's costs go up, you can request more funds to complete the project.
yes.
That's, you know, so
Let's put it out for RFP.
All right, so I'm gonna entertain a motion to approve the advertise for RFPs for grant matter from Crossing Canal. Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Next item, request approval to apply for extension for the HH study for Crossing Canal. That's all.
Yeah,
I
this,
don't know what that's
like,
about.
I think that's
H and
due at
H.
the,
What is
end
H?
of
H and H, H and H,
What is that?
the H and H study.
H and, what H and H is?
That's the modeling piece.
hydraulic model.
Hydraulics. I didn't just say hydraulic.
We don't know what this stuff means.
So I believe what this is part of the project, they had a
Yes,
deadline
they-
for us to complete it,
Yeah.
but we're basically
Because
just
we-
getting to the point now to have
right,
our
we
engineer
have to request an
engaged
extension.
to be able to do it.
Motion by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Next item, request approval to enter the contract with engineer for Shell Beach environmental assessment.
Yes, we received two quotes with, CJ Saba being the lowest, at $3,500. We have with funding coming from capital outlay, we have $2,725 available from capital outlay and match, and then they have $14,722 budgeted for contingencies in capital outlay. So we would need $775 of the contingencies.
So do we just make that request to capital outlay to move some of the contingency funds into that? That's gonna have to be the question to be asked.
$700.
$775.
I would make the motion contingent upon that process, to move that from contingency.
What was the cost of the other bidder?
$9,000? Yes, $9,000.
Big difference.
What kind of time frame are we looking to complete an environmental assessment?
2 weeks?
30 days. Thirty days for the initial report.
Do you think I would just take that $700 on recreation, just to get it moved forward quicker?
I have to check your balance, I don't know. how
I
much
got
you have.
it.
You ain't got that much.
$700?
He's committing a lot of it to other stuff. I have to check.
Shit, but I'm sure I do.
All right, so you making a motion?
Yeah.
You making a motion to approval for, the contract engineering for the Shell Beach environmental contract. And any difference of the $3,500
If he has it.
if he
I
has
got it.
a $775.
I got it.
That's, then award that CJ Saba engineer. Motion by-
Motion.
Second by Charles, All in favor?
Nay.
Opposed?
Me.
Motion carries. Anything else? Thank you very much. Next item, update on the Ag Center roof project.
Met with the contractor this past week. He has started his submittal process. We are waiting for a material delivery at this point. We selected roof colors and so forth. I ran that through Mr. Bryan. I am trying to get from him his material drop date, when that material is gonna be on
I
site.
thought they were supposed to start by. When is construction gonna start?
As Soon as materials arrive,
I thought that was.
as
supposed
soon
to
as the
start
materials
now.
arrive.
I turned around
Construction date
there
was
earlier.
supposed to be the 5th. Construction was supposed to start, right?
And that's correct. That's correct.
What's the holdup?
Not sure. We're contacting the contractor and see why is he dragging this? We have spoken with Mr. Blankenship about this. He has a contract time with which to complete this job. If it gets to a point where I see that he cannot, I will be coming to you all and recommending that we possibly place him on notice. But at this time, he is within his contract time and he is moving forward with the submittal process.
And what is his contract time? Was 30 days?
No, it's longer than that. It's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he has 90.
It was estimated to be a month and a half with possible rain delays and whatsoever.
It should not take him, I mean, the size of the job, no, it should not take him more than 30 days to complete this job. As I said, he's qualified. He met with us on site. He understood that we wanted to start on April the 4th. He started his submittals and so forth. I've been speaking with him regularly. He had assigned a project manager that had contacted our office. We spoke with him. A week later, that contract manager was dismissed. He then assigned someone new. I've been in contact with them daily. They are ordering materials. What I'm trying to get from him is a material drop date. If he can tell me the date that material has arrived, or show me an invoice that he has in fact ordered it, at that point I can do a proper assessment and give you a good recommendation with regards to moving forward. But as it stands right now, everything that I have in my office is according to contract and is within his contract time. Once I have that material drop date, I will forward that all to you. And what I can do is issue a cease and desist to him at this time, and then we can reevaluate. We'd have to pull back and reevaluate the project as to whether or
I
not
don't
he's
think we're
going to
there
complete
yet,
it.
so just stay on top of it. Joseph.
Can you have him provide us a schedule, his construction schedule with durations?
Yes, and I will show you, well, again, I will send you the emails along with a phone call list where my office has requested exactly those schedules, his Gantt charts, as well as his schedule of values. Have not received them yet to date. He did, however, provide me the submittals with regards to the roofing materials. So he did start that. However, I have written documentation requesting those requests. He has not yet complied. And so I'm trying to get the information to provide to you. But if it continues on this path and stays an issue, then I will have to come to you with a recommendation within the contract, more than likely to issue a cease and desist to him before any money is expended.
And I guess the important thing for us is having the scheduled events there and knowing
Correct.
when the center is gonna be available again.
Correct.
We were under the impression that it'd be available mid-May.
We brought him to the site with that schedule in mind. And he had indicated to us via email and everything else that he was going to meet that schedule. So we are working with him daily, trying to get that information. If he fails to provide that information, then I will review the contract, we'll look through everything, and I will provide you the information on how to proceed forward. But as it stands right now, he's currently within his allowed contract time, and he has started the submittal process. I do not have in my possession his schedule of values, which has been requested, nor his time schedule of completion, which I have also requested. So he is in delinquency there. It's been requested. I'm going to give him to the end of this week. If it has not provided, then I will notify you all, and then we can take the appropriate action. No money has been expended to this contractor yet. So you know, if we can, what's that?
Who's the contract?
That was, Jet Set Construction. They're out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Wow. They're coming from Florida to do that.
And I also spoke with Miss Sadie twice and she's asked, we need to have a fencing profile. So she knows exactly where to set up.
Mhm.
And you stated the contractor is responsible for providing that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we need that as soon as possible because she wants to know where and how she's gonna arrange her equipment and items at the facility.
Well, then what we're going to do, since this contractor is I'm not gonna say he's in default of contract because but he's not responding in a timely fashion to keep our facility where we want it. I will have my office reach out to you, Brian. We can go out there. We will section off or coordinate where the fencing will go. And if the contractor does not respond to our request to do so, then that will be documented. And again, we will come back to the jury with a recommendation on how to handle it, but I don't want to we don't need to hinder the facility any more than we already have to with the building being down. That was one of the things we took into consideration when we did the design, is that the contractor was going to fence off the building. We walked the site with him, with Brian and myself, and we knew what needed to be done. So we can put those marks for her, for Miss Sadie, so that she can continue with business as usual.
Yes, and I'll have her attend the meeting. That way she can specify any of her needs.
Yeah, and my office will assist you. We'll get that marked out, and then we'll deal with the contractor however we have to keep the project moving. And if he fails to do so, then I'll be coming to you with the recommendations on what we need to do to move forward.
Good deal. Anything else?
Brian, keep in mind that we have an election coming up
Yes.
in the next month or so. So the parameter, like whether the restroom and concession stands are now, from there to the office building needs to be off limits. Cause that needs to be.
So, permanent study on Shelby's. I can have that before the next meeting.
But that was the one you all just approved.
Yeah.
I will do what I will, like I said, we provided a time frame of 30 days to complete that. Let me get into it and see what all's involved. I have a lot of that done that we did from previously obtaining the permit. I'll do my best. If you wouldn't mind, let me give you a call on Monday
Yeah, that's fine.
after I've had a kind of had a chance to swallow it all. If we can knock it out before the next meeting, we'll do so.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, update on Tackle Fall Landing project?
We have no updates at this time.
No updates.
Cap of
Mike, you got it?
The new cap was,
Caps is all done.
Yeah.
We need to know whether to pay invoices.
Seneca should be working on that, punch list.
Yeah, we did receive something from them today, but I didn't have time to review it before the meeting, so.
It wasn't a whole list.
All right. Update on courthouse renovation project?
Nothing at this time, just had a brief conversation with them and they asked for continued.
Update on Jolimar Street Drainage Project.
Yes, my office completed the suggested changes by GIS. We currently have those plans done. We are going to forward them to GIS tomorrow. We are still in the process of making some changes to help reduce the cost of that project. As we know from our last discussions with GIS, there was some, right now, it's estimated to go over budget, and we're trying to prevent that. I had a meeting with my staff this afternoon. We went through the plans with the changes recommended by GIS, and we are also now reevaluating some of the culvert sizes towards the higher end to see if those could possibly be reduced a little bit to help bring that cost down to within I think we're set at a $250,000 budget. Yes, and the last estimate or budget that we had discussed was right at 300,000. So we feel confident that with the changes we're making right now, that we will be able to obtain about approximately a $50,000 savings. It is going to take us approximately 2 weeks. I'm hoping less, but I don't want to overpromise to you, because once I make those changes, I will have to redo all of the profiles on the streets to meet those new culvert sizes. But we are working continuously, and GIS has been helpful.
All right, update on Bertrandville Drainage Canal Project.
Bertrandville Canal Drainage Project, we are currently in design. We are also in contact with some local contractors. Because as you all are aware, we have basically kept the same scope. We've basically moved to the next location. We're gonna be meeting with those local contractors, kind of go out there to see if there's any pitfalls that we as the engineers are maybe not seeing, so that we don't, when we have this project ready to go to bids, it's included in the plans and we're ready to go forward. Those plans should be completed within 30 days.
Update on Gerald Street levy project. Did we have that already? Anything?
That's the one I think I have to send a letter tomorrow to get the, agent of record.
Gotcha. Update on ring level in Pittsburgh.
Same thing there.
All right, no action.
You said that letter last, meeting?
I did, but apparently they want something differently now, so that's what, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, send tomorrow.
Next two items we covered already, update on the drive project. Anything else, Dan?
I'd just like to, see if Mr. Sawa could get us the core sample results for the Lee Drive. Requesting that once again.
Okay. Next item, update on Shell Beach Boat Landing. We covered that also.
Covered that already.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Everybody rise for the regular meeting. Let the record reflect all members are present. We'll leave with our prayer, followed by our pledge. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may ever find joy in your guidance. Amen. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Request approval of minutes of March 27th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment period. At this time, we'll take public comment for any item on the agenda. Second call. Last call. Let the record reflect there was no public comment. Drainage Committee report. Chairman Pineville.
Yes, sir. Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4:55. All members were present. We had two items. First item would be approve the overage on project 93-136, Ward 2, of total cost of $7,830. And item number two, we discussed the outstanding drainage projects, and we're also going to send a resolution out to Representative Brown, Senator Price, Secretary of DOTD, to see if we could assist them with a machine in doing some projects on, Chris, what yours were?
With 1003.
1003 and North Bay Road. Presented all upon a motion.
I second it.
Motion by Mr. Pineville,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee report. Finance Committee met at 5:05. We approved to pay the list of bills submitted through April 5th, 2024. We approved the first quarter review for the Chamber of Commerce and approved their quarterly allocation. We approved to renew the contract with LOCA for claims administration with a 3% increase. And we approved to allocate $1,500 per juror to attend the Washington DC trip to meet with congressional delegation September 22nd through 25th, 2024.
Motion to accept as read.
Motion to accept, Mr. Pineville. Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 5:20. All members are present. One item was tabled. That's all I have.
All right.
President for my motion.
A motion by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report, Chairman Alcorn.
Yeah, Road and Bridge Committee met at 5:30. Was present. We received an update on the road overlay program, from CJ Savoy. We also approved for CJ Savoy to obtain 3 additional quotes for halfway road, which is part of the road, overlay program. We'll do this in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report, Chairman Nakam.
Yes, first time we had update on project status and funding sources by GIS Engineering. Second was the update from the Plan and Design Group. We had a grant update from the grant coordinator. No action on the, no update, nothing new on Infinity Engineering. Request approval to advertise for RFPs for grant money from Constant Canal. Request approval to apply for an extension for the H&H study for Constant Canal. We approved in the contract with the engineer for Shell Beach environmental assessment to the to CJ Savoy for the total of $3,500, with the difference coming out of Ward 9 rec that the grant don't cover. We had an update on Ag Center Roof Project, Tax Park Landing Project, Courthouse renovation, Charlemont Street Drainage Project, Bertrandville Drainage Canal Project, Gerald Street Levy, Ring Levees Port, and we also heard on Lee Drive Project and Shell Beach Boat Landing Project. All that in form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam.
Second.
And second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay, I'm voting nay to the, contract entering with CJ Savoy.
Recorded. Next item, request approval to call for a special election to authorize a renewal of an ad valorem tax therein for the Council on Aging.
Do you remember last week we introduced it and had an announcement? This is actually calling for the, election.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakam.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the first phase of the derelict structure procedure for dwelling located at 3525 Jean Street in Pierre Park Community, Ward 9.
Motion.
Put that trail over there.
Look at it.
It should be Ward 8.
And Ward 8, right.
It needs to be gone.
Move.
Second.
Is that power hooked up to it or is it disconnected? Did you- It's disconnected. Okay.
Ain't got no.
Second motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the second phase of the derelict structure procedure for dwelling located at 101 West Avenue in the Napoleonville community, Ward 5.
Motion.
Motion by- Anyone have any questions?
No one's resigning there? The roof is on.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Nakam, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Review and request approval of community needs assessment. University Bernard.
Yes, every 3 years, we are required by the state and the federal government to do a community needs assessment. And everyone should receive a copy. I'm not gonna go over it page for page, because the front, the report talks about community action agencies. You hear me now? Can y'all hear me now?
That's that.
Yes.
That's that. Mhm.
And, but I do want to highlight and review and go over pages 10, 11, and 12. The Assumption Parish Police Jury, Housing and Community Development, and Community Action Strategic Plan for 2024 and 2027. The mission of Assumption Parish Police Jury Community Action Agency is the allegiance to improve the well-being of individuals, families, and the community. We are dedicated to partner with agencies to facilitate the needs of low-income individuals and families in order to improve the quality of life and promote self-sufficiency for all. Our focus. We here in Assumption Parish recognize that some of our citizens are at and below the poverty level, which puts them at risk of basic needs which encompasses health, food, shelter, and quality of life. The Assumption Parish Police Jury and the Assumption Parish Community Action Advisory Board strategic plan is our deliberate vision that we intend to execute very vigorously throughout the next 3 years. One of our most important visions is not only to provide assistance in time of need, but also to take steps to promote self-sufficiency so that individuals and families will be able to provide for themselves through education and employment opportunities. Another very important aspect of our plan is our strategic partnership that we will need assisting us to accomplish our mission. We intend to uplift our community while maintaining our core values, which include accountability, teamwork, and respect for each other and for our citizens whom we serve. Strategic goals. Our strategic goals are reachable, attainable, and designed to address the needs and the concerns of the community in an urgent manner at the time that is needed the most. Our goals are as follows. Ensure that the community as a whole are aware of the services and assistance that we provide if the need arises. Provide knowledge to the client on the requirements for services and assistance in a professional, polite, simple, and exact manner. Fully explain to clients the circumstances that will prevent them from being able to receive assistance. Promote a friendly and a more caring relationship between employees and customers. Low-income people become self-sufficient. Partnership among supporters and providers of services to low-income people are achieved. Provide a survey after each visit to obtain data, information, and feedback on the client's experience. Our area of special attention. We have identified areas that require some special attention that will be crucial in improving the quality of life. Obtaining jobs for the unemployed, obtaining and or maintaining safe and affordable housing, obtaining the necessary skills required for employment, and provide the elderly with nutritious meals. Strategic partnership. We realize the importance of strategic partnerships in maintaining a healthy collaboration and relationship to ensure the security of all our resources. Our partnerships include nonprofit groups, faith-based groups, local government, state government, federal government, for-profit businesses, school districts, financial and banking institutions, and other entities that are willing to assist. Our core values: respect. We have and show respect for each other within the workplace, treat our clients with respect, and always display professional conduct. Accountability. We follow all federal, state, and local rules. We treat all our clients the same. Teamwork. We collaborate. We work toward common goals and common results. And last, our vision: to make every individual and family self-sufficient with adequate employment, affordable housing, food, and healthcare for a better way of life. That's the strategic plan for Assumption Parish Housing Community Development for the next 3 years. So you won't have to look at this again until 2027.
It stayed in the book.
Oh, that was an error. It's 3 years.
Yeah, I make a motion.
So y'all was listening.
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve that plan for the next 3 years.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
It's a good plan. Hope it all works out.
Request approval to send letter to property owner at 231 Highway 1011 requesting to clean out natural drainage system behind property.
If you'll notice, item number 14 is addressing this, and we also have a screenshot from the Wildlife and Fisheries. to, forward any type of, funds you may have, if not corrected. And the only thing we say, if we can send a letter indicating correction, and if, and also maybe the time to get this corrected. And if not, the consequences. Unusual situation. I have some of the pictures here.
That's something
TVs
we've been
today.
ongoing before you got here,
Was
Charles.
that,
Yeah. How much time you wanna give them?
whatever, like yesterday.
Let me have
It's
you,
terrible. Terrible situation.
30 days?
But I don't know,
How much?
there's no
Thursday?
consequence. We don't-
I'll say
we
10
I
don't-
know it, but the main thing is the Department of Wildlife want.
Yeah, he wanted to, well, I think he wants. Here's some of the pictures if you wanna look at. I might have time to run my gun today. If you want to have it, no, this is something.
So Wildlife and Fisheries requested this letter,
Right,
and if they don't clean it up, then they'll enforce the gross littering penalty on
so we have to give.
Let's do 14 days.
Health hazard.
14.
Feeding drainage.
15 days from receipt of letter.
15 days from receipt of letter. Take a motion.
it. All right, motion by Mr. Bro to send a letter requesting the drainage be cleaned up within 15 days of receipt of letter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nakane, all in favor? Opposed?
Send that certified.
Motion carried.
Yeah.
Review and consider applications for the replacement of TJ Blanchard on the Library Board of Controls.
I like to, recommend Ms. Carol O'Quinn, because, he gave some help.
I second that motion.
I'd like to recommend, I know Ms. Tara Tafati, has been on this list for quite some time, and I'd like to recommend her too as well.
I second that motion. Why don't we get resumes from all these candidates and take a look at it?
We do have,
You have them?
we should have.
I didn't see them.
Carol O'Quinn been to school, she's been a lot, she's been a lot with these kids and all that. Think she'd be a good candidate.
We use that word responsible when you get two different motions.
Got a vote.
You submit it for appointment and then you take a vote and what gets the most votes.
I know, but they just made two different motions, so just
Correct.
do one at a time.
Mhm.
Just one at a time.
All right, so, we'll vote on the first motion by Mr. Mathern to, appoint Ms. Carol O'Quinn to the Library Board, seconded by Mr. Pineville. All in favor?
Nays.
Nay.
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 2 nays. Motion carried. Due to that motion passing, no action will be made on the other motion.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that.
Request approval of a can shake permit for Church of God Prophecy, on September 26, 2024 and 11/9/2024. At least they submitted it early. Motion by Mr. Carter. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of an occupational license for Oobs Lawn Care, Morgan City.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Any other items?
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.